Welcome to today's episode of Your Daily Writing Habit. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh, otherwise known as Christine Inc. That's spelled INK, like the stuff you write with. Every day, I'm sharing with you the daily writing habits I have gathered over my 18 years as a professional writer and book coach. The big three I've found, by the way, are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset. I found that you need all three of those things in order to succeed as an author, whether you're writing as kind of a side gig or a hobby, or if you're like me and doing it for a living. So, for the next few days, I will be sharing with you my tips for reviving old book writing projects. This can mean a book you started writing a few years ago, or maybe one that you're writing now. You just maybe haven't been totally consistent with your writing sessions. It happens to all of us. As one author to another, don't beat yourself up. All the authors in the infinite worldwide timeless community of authors that you're a part of, we all get it. You're a part of a community that goes back to the beginning of writing history, and it even involves famous people. Welcome. So that's hopefully why you're tuning in every day for tips on establishing a daily writing habit so you can be successful in completing and publishing your book and becoming a published author. You're here to learn. So let's focus on that instead of feeling guilty about any of your past writing habits. This is a new chapter in your life as an author. And yes, for those of you who tuned in yesterday, I gave pretty much the same pep talk, and I'll be giving it again tomorrow and the rest of the week because I know that some of you need to hear it every day, especially the part about not feeling guilty, because I think as authors, maybe guilt is part of our DNA. So I'm going to keep hitting that one. So without further ado, on to today's tip for reviving your old book writing project. So yesterday's tip was about focusing on your opening line. So let's flip it today and talk about your closing line. So the closing line of a chapter or section that you're writing in your book. Start your writing session by focusing on the last line of the chapter you're about to write. And yes, this sounds a little counterintuitive, start at the end, but I think there's a Kurt Vonnegut quote that says something like that, start at the end and work back to the beginning. So we're kind of taking his advice, and he's one of my favorite authors, so I like doing that. So start your writing session by focusing on the last line of the chapter you're about to write, and then answer this question before you start writing. Where do you want to take the reader in this chapter, and how will it segue into the next chapter? By writing your opening and closing lines first, so you'll take that and you will write the final sentence of the chapter that way. So by focusing on your opening and your closing lines before you worry about writing the rest of the chapter, you'll at the very least have a point A and point B that kind of create bookends, which is, just like you think about the things on the bookshelf that hold the books in place when they're all standing up. Some of them are quite fancy. So once you establish your opening line and your closing line of a chapter, you will have bookends. You'll have a point A to point B. So another analogy would be like a road trip. So where are you starting, where are you ending up, figure out how you're going to get there later. But very important to know where you're going before you leave the driveway. So thank you so very much for tuning into your daily writing habit today. I appreciate you all. And if you know someone else who's writing a book, I'd love it if you would share this flash briefing with them so I can help them succeed as well. Please remember to tune in again tomorrow. And until then, happy writing.